Bannerlord can be a brutally hard game. Not only do you start out as a weakling with a small band of vagabonds, but the enemy seems organized. Their cavalry charge is thunderous, and the enemy infantry assault is relentless. Your own attempts to command seem feeble, and your wobbly character build doesn't seem to hold back the enemy hordes. Even more overwhelming can be the choices you have to make. There are a myriad of different skills, equipment, and other decisions, and it can be hard to figure out a good path for your character to take. Fortunately, friend, in this playlist, we've made you a blueprint for success, and not just have a good time, win most of your battles kind of success, more like shred a path through your foes and crush every army in sight kind of success. Strap yourself in, and let's build you a monster Bannerlord character. Is there risk? Of course there's risk, right? I mean, what's life without a little bit of risk, especially in a video game, right? Carpe fucking diem. That's going to be on the back of our t-shirts. We're going to make some t-shirts someday. We're going to have some fun with it. We'll probably be giving them away to Patreon members. I don't think anybody's going to buy them, but maybe, right? You want to seize the fucking day, that's for sure. That's what that shit stands for, and we're going to try to do so here. It's daunting. It's challenging, right? That's what we're here for, and we're also going to have huge rewards if we can be successful. So let's continue to hit villages along the way here. Balticon is a very good defensive city. I'm going to try to give you 3, 4, 5 locations out east that I think you can defend, and this might be a perfect opportunity here for King Canute to become king, right? He's level 10, level 11 now, and we're starting to move up. Now we have these perks. I want to let's see. I want to do these perks, but I was meaning to do these at the end of an episode. You know what? We'll do these right before the siege, and we'll just do some of the critical ones. I won't do them right here. So let's make our way over. There's definitely a chance that the Khazate forces here... No, they're going to be busy. They're both heading to that castle down there, and so we have this defense all to ourselves. Balticon, this is definitely one of the best Khazate cities for defense in the whole game. And we're about to power level Canute. Now, win or lose, we're going to power level, right? But if we win, the rewards are going to be meteoric. Now, we have this mediocre army, and we continue to hemorrhage deserters, right? We've been talking about it. We're way over the minimum here, but make sure you organize top down. That way, when you do get deserters, it comes from your scuzzy troops. Not too big of a deal, right? You're losing some nomads. Maybe you're losing an occasional Imperial archer or something like that. We've got the right army makeup here for siege defense. And don't forget, a lot of our cavalry are horse archers, right? It looks like we have 20-something cavalry. We've got some Khazate units. Now, never fear for those Nord fans. We are going to eventually take this campaign in a Nord direction, right? We will get rid of this guy's tan. A few guys have commented about how we have a black-looking Norse guy. And of course, that's mildly offensive to me because it doesn't really matter the guy's skin color. But then again, I guess my statement right there might be offensive to somebody from the north. Of course, the people in the north, they evolved skin color like that naturally, right? This was an evolutionary process. So in any case, we've got our leader here, Canute. He's got 132 troops. Now we're going to hemorrhage quite a few on the way into the siege defense, right? We're going to lose most of these nomads, but it's keeping us afloat. What I mean by that is it's going to give us extra troops. Why do we need extra troops? Because when you sneak into siege, when you sneak into a city that's already surrounded, we're going to lose troops. Right now, we just lost 8, and you can go back and look. Every single troop we just lost was a Khazate nomad. That means we're going to be able to hit this village. They've just built a ram and a siege tower. In fact, the city's already under siege, so we're going to be able to get in very soon here. 1632. You see these eight guys here, right? We just lost 8. We just recovered 8. And so we're treading water, although it's better than that, right? Because we're going to be able to get in with most of our troops and explain this process here. You lose about 35 troops when you sneak into a city. And you need to have a good ratio for siege defense. We'll cover this here briefly. I would say for the newer player, no worse than outnumbered 3 to 1, including your troops, right? Even 2.5 to 1 might be safe, right? Safer. It depends on the location. I can't give you a guarantee. But I think Balticon, you could handle being outnumbered 4 to 1. And one of the big advantages here of being outnumbered is we're going to do a lot of killing. We just lost 8 more troops. We're going to be able to recruit some prisoners here. There's plenty of daylight. There looks like there's a siege tower, or excuse me, there's 2 catapults built. We're hoping there's a fire catapult. I thought we had 10 Huskarls. We only have 6. I still think we can make it work here. Now we're 25 over, but we're going to recruit these prisoners, right? That's going to put us 36 over, right? And of course, you lose some morale, right? You're gonna accept that for this situation. If we fight right, we won't have any deserters. Right now, you're not assaulting the siege camp, you're breaking in. And when you break in, you join the defenders that are already in there. So 30, we're going to be down to, what, 105, right? That's still a good portion of defenders, and I think it's going to be enough here, right? It's the Grand Prince. It's the pompous Sturgeon Grand Prince. They're going to have a very powerful army, and let's do a few of these perks. You want this one. We need movement speed, right? We need lots of movement speed, so we're going to reduce the armor and reduce the penalty for wearing a shield. We could do this one too. This one's going to be nice in case there's more battle. You want these extra hit points from the medicine skill. And I think that's all we'll do here. We're going to do either perk-specific episodes that are intermixed with these episodes, or we'll do the intro to an episode. We'll cover perks for 10 or 15 minutes. The key is our guy moves slow here, right? He doesn't go to the gym very much. We need him to move faster. He's going to be encumbered by his armor. In fact, let's get more throwing weapons on this guy. We've got this great-looking helmet, and let's get some axes. You're not going to use a spear in siege defense, right? So you want more throwing axes, or better yet, a large bag of javelins. Now we're going to have to fight, right? Not a lot, but we're going to have to fight with the infantry at the gate. For a newer player, this is going to be intimidating, but just follow the steps here. And if you have a siege and it's your first one, what I would say is follow this episode. And we have a fire catapult, delicious. We will walk you through that process as well. Follow the siege, pause your game, follow the siege a little bit more, and literally monkey see, monkey do, and you will be a successful monkey. Now, right away, get your troops off the walls, right? The command for that is everybody, F2, which is basically a formation, and then F1, and then you want to do follow me, which is the opposite. Everybody, F1, F2. And what that'll do is take all of your archers off the walls. This is siege. This is gnarly, right? We're going to be assailed here from different directions. We can start spreading out our archers up on this top back area. Now, keep in mind, these other troops we do not have control over, right? These are all the AI troops, the scuzzy little militia that's in here. But they're going to be somewhat helpful, right? They're going to distract the enemy a little bit. They will try to jam up the gate. And let's combine this infantry. I've got 3 divisions of infantry. The command for combining troops in a situation like this is F3, F5, right? And then you can put as many as you want in whatever division you want. And we're just going to tuck those guys in a square at the gate. Again, if you need to rewind that, we're squaring those 3 infantry divisions at the gate right next to these Khazate units. A shield wall is also fine. Shield wall or square, and don't put it right in front of the gate, put it next to it. I know that's a lot to take in. I can't spend 2 hours on these episodes. In fact, if you guys have noticed, these are supposed to be sort of expedited, more for the player that has a little bit of experience, but maybe needs some hints. Now, I don't want a ballista. A lot of guys like ballistas. I don't like them. We're going to get on a fire catapult or a stone catapult if that's all there is. Okay, we do have a fire catapult, so let's see here. Let's focus. Okay, there's only the 1 siege tower, right? The AI will only have 3 accesses to the city. Your primary goal at the beginning of siege is to limit how many accesses they have. Now, they have siege ladders on the other side. How do I know that? Because they don't have a tower. In lieu of a tower, they will have siege ladders. You cannot destroy the siege ladders, and I recommend you just leave them alone. Let the AI come up those ladders. Now, again, the catapult tutorial, you just turn left and right, that's self-explanatory, and then right above my head here, see that little red thing going up and down? That is your distance. You control that with your character, moving forward and backwards. Takes a little practice. Once you get it dialed in, though, you're just going to smoke these siege towers. Now, damn, this siege tower has a lot of hit points, and the hit points of siege towers varies depending on the skill of the attacker. So there's 100 variables in siege, but now we're going to be hitting it almost point blank. Even though point blank I missed with all my shots there. We're going to be able to smoke it once or twice, and I see fire catapult flaming with contrails to our right. We're going to go jump on that. You can always throw those. In fact, they smoked it, then we smoked it. That was a nice combo addition. We're going to hide behind all the militia here, taking all the barrage of javelins and whatnot. And that's what happens to archers on the walls, right? We're not doing that. We're going to rain this Greek fire down. And it's an optimal situation. We're gaining levels. I don't even want to use the catapult, right? Because that's too slow. This is going to kill way faster. Just rain these over. And the last fireball or two, I'm going to purposefully aim for the siege tower to try to destroy it. Of course, this whole time, that has been our goal. But right now, I'm very content to blow up dozens of Sturgeon elite infantry, right? They're coming up with infantry. These are some of their very best troops, and so we're just melting these guys right at the base of the siege tower. That's like 3 levels already. 1 or 2 more shots here. Damn, I thought that would have destroyed it. All right, we've got to make this one count. Aim right for the siege tower itself. And kaboom, it breaks, they fall. We're going to get this last fireball. This is bonus. And we're going straight into the gatehouse, right? You're basically a terrorist. You're running around with these highly flammable explosive devices. And I guess, oh shit, there's sturgeons right here. What the hell are you guys doing right here? You guys ain't supposed to be there. Normally, the gatehouse is full of your troops. That is a rarity. And down it goes. Now, there's a whole bunch of more rocks here, too, right? And we got a little bootlicker that's helping us throw these. You just rain them down, right? Now, this is mega power leveling for your character. Even if we get captured, even if this siege fails, and you can see the power bar, it doesn't look great, right? It looks rough. It's still outnumbered 5-1, 4-1. Even if we get captured, you get to keep these levels, right? So we're going to lose our army. We'll have to rebuild. It'll probably cost us 100 grand in loot. That's going to be an expensive loss if we lose. But if we win, we're going to get 5 times that. And there's a better than 1 to 5 chance that we're going to win this. Right? That, statistically, this is a good risk. Now we got to get these archers backed up. One key here with your archers, right? And our archers are sort of spread out, just like the battlefield here, right? They're spread out in a big C. This is our 2nd division. They're over here in a nice line. The key here is to make sure they don't get any closer than about 15 yards to the gate. No more than 10. And the reason is simple. Because the AI units attacking through the gate will come for your archers instead. But we don't want that. This is our square. We're going to hope that this distracts and keeps those guys busy. Now, if the AI pours through the gate, what we'll do is put that square directly in front of it. That usually doesn't happen, but just know that that's an option. If you start to get zerged and the enemy just pours in, put your square in front of the gate and then try to kill what you can. Now, we've got more militia running in, right? I said before, we're going to use these guys, and it's actually really beneficial here, right? Now, note what's happening. I'm moving all these troops over here. Why? Because there's no siege tower on the other side. We only have 2 sides to defend. That is the key to siege, right? Focusing your firepower. We now have like 30 archers over here, and these are pretty good archers, right? We've got some Sky Gods chosen. We've got a few marksmen mixed in there. And a few other tier 3 and tier 4 archers. Now, most of these troops are not ours, but we're going to use them. They're basically little peasants defending as well as they can against these terrible despot sturgeons, right? Trying to take our... This is our city, bitches! And what I want you to do in this situation is get your practice on here, right? Go up and swing your sword and use your kick button. Kick a lot right here. You're the only guy on the battlefield that knows how to use his leg. You might as well use it, right? It disrupts, it knocks guys around, and if you start to suffer damage, hold up your shield and back out. It's a good opportunity, though, for you to do a little melee line without being blown up, right? Because they're not just going to surge through as long as this line has 20 or 30 little peasants here. We're gaining, our companions are gaining levels. Our square is holding tough. We just got another kill. And it's a good way to level up your skills, obviously. Right? We already leveled up our athleticism and throwing. Wait till you see what we get just for throwing those fireballs. Now, the longer this holds, the better, because look at above us. You see all the arrows raining in? That's our archers on the ridge racking up kills, shooting over the top of us. That is just absolutely nirvana for all of the elements that we're trying to accomplish here. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to get influence. We're mercenary. We get paid to kill. That looks like killing to me. They're just smoking archers on the walls, right? The blood is splattered everywhere. We also going to get rewards for this as far as upgrades. We're going to get troops are going to get upgraded. We're also going to get, not influence, we're going to get renown from this, right? We're going to advance up the clan tiers. In addition to that, of course, your main character gets all those perk points. We're going to take nobles prisoners. We're getting everything from this siege, right? We're going to get relations because we can put some of them in the dungeon here. We're just going to get it all. Now, some of these troops are routing, and this is inevitable. Usually they don't hold out this long. You're usually going to have to depend on your square. A lot of times the guys at the gate break down. Now, our square is fattened up. I just realized we got our reinforcements in. Right? We now have a lot more troops here. And I would say that 80 or 90% of the defenders left in the city are ours, right? So now the siege really is up to us. We've got to hold this line here, but look how nasty that is, right? We have a condensed square. There's some bootlickers behind them, sort of pretending they're brave. The arrows are raining in from 12 different directions, right? We've got arrows raining at them from the sky. And this siege is over. Look at the power bar. We now are favored to win, and do you see any way that they're going to get into the city? Hell no, right? Even when they attack you, just back up, right? Get your kick on. This is perfect opportunity for it. It's basically like a tournament, right? Now you can just let them do shot for that too. You can just back up and let your archers work. You might as well get some kills. A great spot to practice. We're gaining one-handed skill. It's up to 90. And now we can actually charge. Right? This Sturgeon force, usually they rout before this happens. But I think because of how weak the defenders were here, they have literally fought to the last man. I don't even know, what do they have, like 20 troops left? What is happening here? Yeah, they have like 40 troops or 30 troops on this ladder. So let's just expedite this. Let's just charge. This siege is over. And it's ecstasy. Now, this wasn't even hard, right? Our square never really was even threatened. I'm going to mention, while our troops are annihilating the Sturgeons here, what to do. If your square starts to break down, add more archers to the square. We talked about the F3, F5 command. That's where you bring up that little menu to combine your units. You're going to learn how to use that, right? That's a critical ingredient to being a successful commander. Here, if your square starts to break down, take 20 archers and just stick it in the square. It'll help tremendously. The most important thing is that square surviving. And that's that, right? We just racked it up. Look at the influence. Look at the everything. 760 kills, and we had 24 total casualties. Our companions ripped some levels here. And then, of course, the main character, it's just nirvana, right? 207 kills for King Canute. King indeed, right? This is just a monstrous battle for us in this campaign. 115 influence. Do the math. We're getting paid something like 260, 280, right? This is literally, what, 28 grand? 30 grand? Something like that? Just in influence, right? Then the morale. Of course, our morale is going to be what? Maxed, right? We gain 90 renown, right? That's also clan tiers, 72% of the loot. And wait till you see the loot, right? These are elite units we just destroyed. Not to mention, now we get to capture 3 or 4, I guess more than 3 or 4. It's like every Sturgeon noble. Maybe we even get the Grand Prince. We just captured everybody. And indeed, even the pompous Grand Prince. And it, you know, it's the lottery. We get it all. We get laid, right? We hit the lottery. We get all these troops. You know what we're going to do with these troops? We're going to handpick the ones we want. And the ones that are weak, we're going to donate to the garrison. We're going to donate all these prisoners. We're going to sell them to the ransom broker. And we're going to get filthy rich. And then you get this gear, right? This gear here is worth more than all of our money combined. Basically, I mean, maybe we have 100,000 or 80,000 in loot at this stage. This is way more than that, right? There's multiple pieces here that are big upgrades for our units. You don't have to buy this shit, right? Instead of spending 600,000 in a store to upgrade our gear, we get all this shit for free. We just strip it from the body of Rag'n'Vad, toss his carcass over to the ransom broker, and everybody lives happily ever after. And look at our mercenary contract, right? It's 7,000 per day right now. Keep in mind, that's going to go up, right? Watch in the next minute or two. Follow this process. You want to donate as many of these guys as you can. You get nice influence for this. Now, in reality, you could probably just take them to the ransom broker and get a similar amount of money, but we also want to donate these other prisoners. Now, oops. Can't actually... We normally would get like hundreds of influence, but we can't actually donate these. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I thought there would be a lot more room. Sometimes there's a lot more room in the dungeon. Right now, we're just going to have to donate another 8 guys. We'll be able to take these troops, though, and sell them at the ransom broker. I'll probably walk you through that process just because I want to drool. I want you to drool over your potential reward here. You're going to get heaps of influence. Look at this shit. 64 influence for donating those prisoners, right? Plus, look at the relations. They think we're great, right? We just put half the Sturgeon nobility into their dungeon. The Khazate think we're an incredible mercenary, so they're willing to pay us. We're getting influence. They're all offering their wives for marriage. We're gaining levels. Everything is happening. It's almost like overwhelming what happens, right? When you have a siege like this, the benefits that accrue from a successful defensive siege, you can hear it in my voice. It's a little bit overwhelming. It's certainly exciting, though. And you as a player, maybe you've trudged your way through the mercenary stage. You now know how to power level your character. We're going to sell the rest of these prisoners. Now again, locations. You want to follow our guides on the channel for the very best ones, but I can tell you almost all of the Khazate castles can be defended in a similar manner. Baltikand is excellent for defense. Odok is excellent. The cities of Hargard, the cities of Thronderlag also can be defended in a similar manner. And hopefully these tips are going to help you just absolutely power level your campaign. Now, the last thing we got to do here is donate all these troops to the garrison. Even more influence, right? It just becomes insane. And let's see, we'll talk briefly about what I would do here with perks, and look at the levels. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, you get it all, right? We gained 7 levels in that one siege. It looks like a cheat code, right? We're up to 10 perk points. And basically what you want to do with your troops is keep the ranged troops, right? Keep your ranged troops and elite infantry. Our athleticism just got maxed, right? Now, we should have put even more points there. We should have put 7. We should have put those 2 or 3 extra points on athleticism, but what nirvana here for you. All right, friends, we're going to continue with this series. That was a pretty long episode. We're going to try to find more ways for you to turbo your campaign. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Hit that like button on the way out, and I will see you friends next time.